Hi there. This will hopefully be a shorter video. I just wanted to record something brief to help us transition from Act 1 to Act 2 because so much starts happening in Act 2. There are only a couple of scenes in Act 2, but they are really packed with some great plot development and character development as well. So let's just remember a couple of things that are really important from Act 1. By the end of Act 1, Hamlet told Horatio, after talking to the ghost, Hamlet didn't tell Horatio everything the ghost said at all. He just implied that he trusted the ghost and that he was heavily impacted by what the ghost had to say. And he did warn Horatio that he might have to put an antic disposition on. Basically, look out, I might start acting crazy, and if I do, just go with it. So between Acts 1 and 2, what's happened off stage is that Hamlet has gone to see Ophelia, and she comes away from that meeting convinced that he is mad. She doesn't really know why, but in her mind, she's connecting it to the fact that she's pulled away from him on her father's orders. Remember, she told Polonius in Act 1 that she will obey him, and he told her to cut everything off with Hamlet. But from Hamlet's point of view, it's another betrayal from someone he trusted, and not just someone he trusted, but another woman that he trusted. So is that making him mad, as in losing grip with sanity, losing a sense of reason, or is he just in even increased grief and feelings of betrayal? That's going to be one of the questions of the play: is Hamlet mad? So we'll take that up later. Remember also where we left Hamlet emotionally, right? The ghost had just dropped this huge bomb on him, telling him he was murdered by his brother Claudius, and insisting that Hamlet is obligated to avenge his death. In order to avenge his father's death, he has to kill the king. So not only does he have to murder someone when he is not a fighter, he's a young intellectual, so much for not taking the warrior bath, but he has to try to kill the king, which is regicide, which will surely end in his own death. We touched on that briefly in class. So yes, on the one hand, Hamlet's been ruminating on how deeply sad he is over his father's death and his mother's betrayal and abandonment. And he does say in the "Oh, this too sullied flesh" speech that he'd like to just disappear and that he'd like to evaporate, that he'd like to die, basically. But now that he's actually concretely looking at his death, at his sure death, that is a little bit different, right? Fantasizing about vanishing and an end to your suffering is different than actually facing your own death. One's abstract, the other's pretty terrifying. And death is terrifying to all of us, in spite of whatever faith tradition you might be a part of or belief in the afterlife. We don't really know what happens after we die, and therefore it is the ultimate unknown, the ultimately uncertain thing that haunts all of us from the time of childhood. And this certainly rattles Hamlet deeply. So as we enter Act 2, keep an eye on all of this, right? The pressure, the fear, the betrayal, the performance of madness that Hamlet's putting on. Is it a performance? Is it not a performance? Is it real? And is it madness that he's performing, or is it grief being mistaken as madness? Again, our through line of what is performance, what is reality, what are the blurred lines between them, is something that we are going to follow. Hamlet is unraveling on some level, but he's also planning, right? And he's incredibly strategic. So I want you to keep an eye out for that. I also want you to keep an eye out for the ways that people try to get to the truth. From Act 2, Scene 1, we are going to see a lot of people use some unsavory means, let's say some dishonest means and methods of trying to get at the truth. And I philosophically am grappling with questions around that, and I'd like you to grapple with as well. Can we get at truth through dishonesty? Is there an irony there or not at all, right? Can we lie to somebody to get them to be honest to us? Can we spy on someone or try to eavesdrop and get at the truth? Maybe pieces of it, is there a whole truth that we're trying to get at? Is that even a thing? So I want you to think about that, because from Act 2, Scene 1, where Polonius sends Rinaldo in to spy on his own son, we will see a lot of machinations of trying to get at truth, or trying to reveal what each character is interested in having revealed to them. So keep an eye on it, and we'll talk soon. Bye.